The Ille Barbe, translated into Barbarian Island, is one of Lyon's most beguiling and inaccessible secrets. The island itself is easily attainable via a suspension road bridge constructed in 1827 that replaced a wooden version built a century earlier. The span is the oldest operating within Lyon, evading even Nazi destruction upon their retreat following the World War II occupation of the city. The island is officially located in the 9th arrondissement inside the Saint-Rambert-I'lle Barbe, a former commune annexed into Lyon in 1963. A welcoming park accommodating children and petanque sessions dominates the western half of the island. The eastern half is less accommodating. A locked entry gate prohibits general public admission. Exceptions are visitors staying at one of the upscale hotel accommodations or an entry invitation by one of the residents. This exclusivity is rare in contemporary society, but the tortured history imposed by uninvited hoards passing through makes the privacy policy understandable. A West Side Abbey, one of the first monastic establishments in Lyon, was founded during the 5th century. It remains one of the oldest within ancient Gaul and was bequeathed with Charlemagne's reputed library. He was the king of the Franks from 768, king of the Lombards from 774, and European emperor from 800 until his death. Charlemagne was the first recognized leader to rule Western Europe. This apex of island prestige was highlighted by the suggestion that his 9th century library contained the fabled Holy Grail. Various traditions have cited the Grail as a cup, dish, or stone accompanied by miraculous healing powers. Further, the treasure proved capable of providing eternal youth or sustenance in infinite abundance. Whether the Grail ever existed, particularly upon the Ille Barbe, is a matter of historical conjecture. What became certain is that even possession did the monastery no favors. The abbey would suffer from repeated pillaging, the first two by the Saracen tribes occurring in 676 and 725. The Huns continued the tradition in 937. Between the lootings, the island was awarded levels of immunity, protection, and exemption from taxes by assorted dukes and royalty. By the 1400s, the site had become a center of Marian devotion. The Virgin Mary attracted worshippers that congregated inside the 12th century chapel named in her honor. At the beginning of the 16th century, the abbey's ownership was transferred to the Alban family. In 1549, the abbey was secularized, with the monks remaining subject to ecclesiastical rule. 13 years later, Huguenot troops led by the Baron of Adretz ignored such formalities and burned and looted the facility. The few lingering priests were transferred to other establishments for the aged and infirmed. During the French Revolution, Charlemagne's library was permanently destroyed. Any remaining artifacts were either sold or dispersed. Building ownership became privatized. Today, the enforced separation between public and private access has created a fascination for viewing the former abbey grounds. Notre Dame Chapel is undergoing continued restoration to ensure the stonework and frescoes cease sustaining water damage caused by an opening from the open bell tower. Romanesque style remains, including several grotesque beasts carved into the cloister. The landscape that time has forgotten remains enticing to passing boatmen and pedestrians on the bank of the Saône River. The absence of tourist exploitation has preserved history and sustained the magnetism and allure.